So each individual users will have their own account using which they can log in. So we will start with the farmer account. So the farmer logs in and they would enter the details of a bunch of things, like for example the farmer ID, the supplier who gave them the feed, his ID, the batch and the quantity of feed they collected. And once they submit this as a transaction onto the blockchain, that's pretty much done. We could of course add more data depending on what else the farmer wants to give. Then this is how the auditors would do. They would log in with their own account, which is Validus, and then they would get in. They would get their own view where they would enter the farmer ID and the auditor's ID. And after the all the tests and reports have been created, they're going to upload a digital version of that certificate and they're going to submit to the blockchain. So this is how in the end you can actually track what was actually submitted by Validus as a digital certificate. Similarly, we will move on next to the factory. So we will imagine somebody's at the factory, they're going to log in, and once they log in, there are two activities which they have to carry out. One which says the things which is coming in, so they put the factory ID, the farm ID from where they got. They'll also upload the test certificate of the milk which has come. So these are the things which they would enter based on what they've received. And then once they decide what batch of products are going to the warehouse, they would get one more option where they would select the farm ID, the batch ID of the specific feed. To be honest, most of these things will be auto-populated. We are just entering it manually. And then you've got the product ID as well. And the manufacture date, when that's going to expire in terms of the yogurt, and the package details, etc. So there's a whole bunch of details which you can enter before the yogurt leaves the warehouse, and you can submit it. So once you finish submitting, you're pretty much done as a factory. Now it's the warehouse which logs in. They would do similar exercise where they would enter certain details onto the blockchain. So in this case, the factory from where they received the warehouse ID and the batch of that specific product, even before it gets dispatched to Tesco, Marks and Spencer's or wherever. And then finally, we are logging in as a consumer just so that we get a view on what details will be available if someone scans a QR code. So we've just hit that button. So what you see is a QR code which has been generated based on the data. I've just clicked on Validus and it should show the certificate which was issued by Validus for that specific product. And this is the kind of details which would come on a mobile app when someone scans a QR code. And of course, we can also put this QR code onto the packaging as well, in terms of making it available to tell the story of that specific product.